Boker Tov, good morning, everybody, and welcome. Today is Thursday, Erev Pesach, just before Pesach. We're a little late this morning. Do apologize. We had to conclude a study of Torah in order to absolve the firstborns of the study of the fast of the firstborns. A little late, but nevertheless, better late than never. And today, this morning, we'll be learning about the laws of the search for Chametz, which happens on the night before Pesach. This year, we cannot do the search for Chametz the night before Pesach because the night before Pesach is a Friday night. It is on Shabbos. Therefore, we search the night before Pesach, and that is Thursday night tonight, where it is a special mitzvah to search for the Chametz. Let's go through some of the laws that relates to the searching of the Chametz. It goes as follows. On the evening before Pesach, a search for Chametz, for leaven, must be made immediately after nightfall. It is forbidden to begin a meal or work, or any work, 1/2 hour before nightfall. So half an hour before nightfall, you've already got to be ready. Let's search the time for today. That would mean that today nightfall is in Palm Beach Gardens, at least. Nightfall is at 7:58 p.m. So from 7:28 p.m. already, you've got to be ready. No work and no food, so that you're ready to search for the Chametz from 7:28 p.m. Thank you, Winston. Good Hebrew there. The search should be made with only one wax candle, not by several twisted together, because then it becomes a torch. But if we have no wax candle, we may use a tallow candle. The idea is that you're supposed to have a candle, a feather, and a wooden spoon, and a brown paper bag, basically. So that the wooden spoon and the feather help you dust up the chametz, and you also have the candle to help you search in the dark places. All the rooms in which leaven might have been lodged must be searched. So you have to search your entire house tonight at nightfall. Even the cellars, the garrets, the stores, and the woodsheds, all those vessels in which leaven has been kept should also be searched. Before the search is made, all these places should be carefully swept and cleansed from leaven, from chametz, in order to facilitate the ritual search. So basically, what you need to do is to make sure that you've cleaned the house before Pesach. And now that the house has been cleaned, the idea of the search for chametz, the idea is that we don't mistakenly come across a piece of chametz on Pesach and forget that it's Pesach and eat the chametz. So, for example, in my office, I have some l'chaim, some vodkas or whatever, whiskey. And if I was to leave it out in the open, God forbid, then on Pesach, I might forget and have a drink with someone else, right? God forbid. And therefore, you have to literally remove it from your possession, either remove it from your possession, or you can still sell the chametz, only until tonight. You can sell the chametz. You can do so online at jewishgardens.com/chametz. That's CHAMETZ, jewishgardens.com/chametz, to make sure that you don't own the chametz. But even when you sell the chametz, you got to make sure it's out of sight. It's got to be locked away in a cabinet, because if it's freely available in every cabinet in the kitchen, then it's going to be very easy, God forbid, to make a mistake on Pesach, which is a biblical violation of the worst degree. A stall in which the cattle are fed with grain and a coop in which the fowl are fed with grain do not require searching, for in the first place it is likely that the grain did not become leavened, and if it did become leavened, it is possible that all of it has been eaten and none has been left. And in other words, the food of the sheep or the cattle or the chickens, it's very unlikely that there's actually chametz in there. However, if leavened grain had been put there, let's say the food that you feed the chickens is actually leavened grain, and there is only a single uncertainty whether all of it has been eaten up, we do not rely on this possibility, and a search is required. So this is a very important principle in Torah thought. The principle is like this, is that when you have two doubts, you can be lenient. But if you have one doubt, you've got to be strict. So in this case, there's two doubts. Why is there two doubts? We're not sure if there was chametz put in here in the first place, into the animal food. And even if there was chametz put into the animal coop, the animal pen, then it's possible that it was all eaten. So that's a double leniency, which you can be lenient on. However, if there's only one leniency, why? Because you know for sure that you put chametz into the food of the animals. And now there is only one doubt. If the chametz was eaten entirely by the animals or not, with the one doubt, you got to be strict and you have to search the pen. Every nook and cranny of all places must be searched with the utmost care. We must also search the pockets of our garments as well as those of our children's garments, as leaven is at times placed therein. And the following morning, when the leaven is burnt, it should be thoroughly shaken out. So we've got to be very careful to search in our pockets, to remove our toothbrushes, which might have chametz left on them. We've got to be searching even the vacuum cleaner, right? The vacuum cleaner itself, where the garbage goes, you got to let it out. You got to throw out your garbage, make sure that it's gone before Pesach. The rooms in which are sold to non-Jews before Pesach. When you sell closets or rooms to non-Jews, and that goes to the rabbi who sells it to the Gentile, those rooms together with the leaven they contain must be searched in the evening, inasmuch as the sale will not be consummated before the following morning. So the sale is actually only consummated tomorrow morning, so you still need to search those rooms. Good morning, Dan, great to see you. You still need to search those rooms to make sure that there's no chametz just lying around. Before beginning the search for chametz, we say a special blessing. Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, who has sanctified us with his commandments and commanded us concerning the clearing out of leaven. Although we do not remove the leaven, nevertheless, since after the search we annul it, this benediction refers to such leaven which is annulled at the end of the search. We're not allowed to make any interruption between the blessing and the beginning of the search. It is well not to make any interruption until the search is completed, except for that which relates to the search. You're only allowed to talk and say and talk about things which are relating to the actual search. But any conversation which is not relating to the actual search is not really permitted. One blessing is sufficient to the search of many houses. Let's say for myself, I search in my house and then I come to the shul to search chametz at shul. So one blessing would be enough tonight to cover both of those locations. Before making the search, it is customary to hide 10 crumbs, well wrapped, 10 crumbs around the house. Very exciting for the kids to participate in this. It's like a hide and seek with daddy. So the kids hide the 10 pieces and they track it, and it's very important that the kids should know where they are, because if the kids lose track of where they are, then you could spend all night searching for your last 10 pieces. You don't want to have any chametz lying around, so you need to track them, make sure you know exactly where those 10 pieces are, and when you find them, you're fulfilling the mitzvah of the actual search, just in case you're so OCD that there's not even a morsel of chametz left over in your house after this, the cleansing, the spring cleaning, the preparation for Pesach. So it's customary to deposit some crumbs of bread in the places where the searcher will find them, just in case no leaven will be found and the benediction would have been made in vain. Therefore, by hiding these 10 pieces, we know that we're going to be fulfilling the search for sure. Certainly, if we do not make a proper search for leaven, but simply gather up these crumbs, we're not fulfilling the commandment of searching, and the blessing is being pronounced in vain. So this is a bit of an interesting mitzvah, this one, where you make a blessing on the search of chametz, and you really got to get down. You got to get down and dirty to look in all the corners, look around all the places, all the cabinets, to make sure that you're searching everywhere, to make sure that there's no chametz left lying around. The idea, I hope, is clear. The idea behind the search is to make sure that there's no random chametz lying around in the house, like any vodka or any cookies or hamantashen or pasta or something that would just be lying around and not put away in a place which is clearly designated off limits for Pesach. Because if it is lying around, then God forbid you might come close to violating the mitzvah. Before making the search, we put away in a safe place all our leaven, whether it be for use or for sale. We likewise put away in a safe place the leaven that we have found in the search. Firstly, we carefully wrap it up, then we put it in a safe place where we can burn it tomorrow morning so that we can get rid of it. And the way it works is that tonight we search for the chametz, but tomorrow morning we burn the chametz. I think it's listed on the calendar before 12:20 something. I think it's 12:21 is the latest time to burn your chametz tomorrow. What you need to do is you literally make a little fire and you burn any leftover chametz, and it's published in the prayer book. There's a special blessing that you make when you burn the chametz. If you can't burn it, then at least you flush it down the toilet. We must nullify the leaven immediately after the search. The real nullification is in our heart, not just verbal. It's in our heart. It's our firm resolve to consider all leaven in our domain as non-existent, entirely valueless, and compared to dust, and as something for which we have absolutely no use. Our sages have therefore ordained that we must express these thoughts verbally by saying the formula Kol Chamira, which is printed in the prayer books. If we do not understand the Aramaic words of nullification of the chametz, we should say it in any language that we understand best. Now, although we've already fulfilled the search for the chametz tonight, after the search, we must nevertheless nullify again the chametz in the morning after we've burnt it, including in that nullification all the leaven that we have found or we haven't found, that we burned or we haven't burned. Everything is valueless and not owned by us, and thus we're truly divesting ourselves of any of any chametz in our possession. During the 30 days, now, here's one final law which I want to share with you. If we find leaven in our house during Pesach, what happens if you find chametz in your house during Pesach? If it's now, there's the first 2 days and the last 2 days, which are like Shabbos, and then there's the middle days, which are called Chol HaMoed. They're like half holidays. You're not really supposed to work, but you're allowed to drive. It's a very interesting category of the middle days of the days of Pesach and Sukkot, the middle 4 days that are Chol HaMoed. It's called the mundane of the holiday. Okay, so if you found leaven in your house during Chol HaMoed, you should take it out and burn it. If it's a quantity of the size of an olive or larger, then first, before burning it, you should make a blessing. Al biur chametz, blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has commanded us to destroy chametz. But if you find it in the first 2 days of the festival, or in Shabbos, right, when chametz is not allowed to be touched, then you should cover it up with a dish or a vessel until the conclusion of the festival of the Shabbos, and then you burn it. If we find the leaven during the last 2 days of Pesach, we should burn it at the conclusion of the festival, even though the conclusion of the festival is no longer Pesach. You're not allowed to make use of that chametz that you found on Pesach, because chametz in your possession on Pesach is forbidden forever. So therefore, right after Pesach, even though it's no longer Pesach, you have to still burn it, but you don't make the blessing, even though its quantity would have been larger than the size of an olive. And this, friends, is the laws of the search for chametz, which takes place tonight. I want to highly encourage everybody to do so. Tonight at 8 p.m., to take a candle, make the blessing. It's printed in the siddur, in the blue siddur. Make a blessing and go around your house and search for the chametz. Maybe you remember your grandparents doing this, or your great-grandparents doing this. I guarantee you, all of our great-grandparents would have done this in previous generations. And it's time for us to get back on track with our traditions. This is a beautiful Erev Pesach tradition. Tonight at nightfall, take out a candle and make the blessing. Search your house for any leftover chametz. Spend some time today clearing away any chametz so that your house is free of any fermented products during Pesach. And let's enjoy a more meaningful Pesach this year, one which is chametz-free. Today is Thursday, and don't forget to sell your chametz. It's the last day to sell your chametz today. You can do so online at jewishgardens.com/chametz. That's jewishgardens.com/chametz. Friends, I have to run to a funeral, so I'm gonna stop over here and wish you all a wonderful day. Take care, shalom, and thank you for joining me here.